welcome. Another week in the bag. We are here yet again. I've got my dream team is here. My name is Corey Henry. I am the chair of the State of Georgia Government Blockchain Association and the president of Steam Revolution. We're a nonprofit organization that's focused on bringing the discussion of the digital transformation to the unbanked, to the underbanked, and to the undocumented communities of America and around the world. So in this iron sharpens iron discussion, you know, I've brought on some old favorites. And this discussion we're going to have today is going to be so timely, so necessary. So let me bring up first Blockchain B-Dub in the building.
What's up?
Bobby, how's it been this week, man?
Good, man. I mean, you know, we've been watching the market, so it's been crazy out here. But you can't watch it every day. You just gotta make them solid decisions and live with it. Make some solid decisions out there.
Let me bring in my other guests. You got Mr. Q himself, slip and slide Q.
Yes,
Mr.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So Clint.
Yes, sir.
We're going to ask church today, man. We've got a special guest coming, joining us a little bit later. And we're going to have a discussion today about centralized versus decentralized exchanges.
Nice.
So I think it's important for us to have that talk because we are leading a lot of people to the promised land. And we don't want to be responsible when you get that call that something happened or something bad happened and we haven't warned people about what these different platforms mean and the risk potential and then also the reward potential. And I think once we have done that, we could feel a lot more comfortable about, you know, sharing our experiences and letting people use that as a guiding code for their own crypto. So let me just get some homework out of the way. Number one, our disclaimers: we are not financial advisors. All investments have inherent risk. So we always advise everybody to do their own research. My videos and our contributions are for our entertainment purposes only and informational purposes only. So anything that you learn here is purely because we care. This production is sponsored by our nonprofit organization, Steam Revolution. So feel free to visit us at www.thesteamrevolution.org, where you can check out our NFT. We've launched our NFT. You saw it at the beginning of the show. We're going to be auctioning our NFT sometime this summer for 20 Ethereum. So be on the lookout for that. Also, one more thing. Be on the lookout for our Be the Bank merch coming soon. That's how you support this community, how we're able to drop this free game every week. It's by y'all supporting Steam Revolution, buy the merch, be a part of the movement. Don't just go to the bank. Doggone it. We're going to be the bank.
Be the bank. Be the bank.
Yeah, so let's get into it. I've got some things. I did some homework, some content I want to share, and we're going to read a little bit. But I think it's important for us to dive into this knowledge. So what is a centralized versus a decentralized exchange? And a lot of us have heard about all these wallets: Coinbase, Binance, Crypto.com, Probit, right? Bitmart. Every single kind of coin, the first thing they have is their own wallet and then a list of what exchanges that they're on. So, you know, as always, we do our homework here. We're here to make sure that the community is having the opportunity to dig in with us. So we don't screen these sessions, we like it raw. So we're going to show you guys some things to consider with the different exchanges. You have your centralized exchange and you have your decentralized exchange. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
So centralized exchanges, which platforms have the most control, which ones have the most security, which ones have the most popularity. Obviously, I need to move this column over here, centralized and decentralized. Centralized is, there we go. We all the way live here.
There you go.
So centralized seems to have more control. The platform has more control over your money, right? Decentralized, the user has more control. And a centralized exchange, there's a little bit more risk of hacking because, we've heard of centralized exchanges being hacked and people losing all of their coins. Decentralized is more peer-to-peer. It takes more advantage of distributed ledger technology. Centralized is highly popular because they're best for onboarding, right? New people. Decentralized is less popular because it requires you to have a lot more knowledge. Centralized charge more fees for their platforms. Decentralized typically charge very minimal fees or zero fees. Centralized fee exchanges typically provide more variety of features, whether those features are more of a list of coins, more DeFi offerings, yield earning offerings, special airdrop programs. Decentralized platforms have less of that. Centralized are easy to regulate. They require a license or you to submit some AML. And AML is anti-money laundering and KYC, know your customer procedures. Decentralized exchanges don't really require that as much. Centralized have high liquidity versus lower liquidity. We'll talk about that. And then speed. Centralized execute orders in milliseconds, and decentralized can take a little bit longer. So I took some notes on each of those, and that's what we kind of want to go through. And then we'll blaze through this, and towards the end, I want to get you guys' opinion on that. We'll talk about some exchanges that we're on and what our experience have been. So for control, in a centralized exchange, they control in a lot of cases, they can even control your keys, right? Not your keys, not your coins. Remember that. So, in some of these centralized exchanges, you give over your coins, and then if something happens, you don't have access to them. You've sent them your coins, so there's a lot of trust required in that. And that trust can be upended sometimes when a centralized exchange can be hacked more easily, or some third party gets in there and you put a lot of weight on these centralized exchanges, you run the risk of that. So DEXs or decentralized exchanges are more secure because there's no possibility of multiple users losing their funds due to a single cause, right? They're decentralized, and that helps minimize a single point of failure, right? Mm-hmm. So what does that mean for us? You look at like Coinbase, or one of the ones that I like to use is crypto.com, right? So we send all of our coins, our Bitcoins, to crypto, and then they have all these offerings where we can yield farm and we can do different things to earn. Let me stop here. To earn interest, right? But what if something goes wrong? What if you're locked out of your account for some reason? And those centralized exchanges don't have the customer service that we would like to have when it comes to immediately responding when you got all of my bank, right?
Right.
You got all of my coins, all of my hopes, all of my dreams. I can't see anything, and that's stuff that we have to be prepared to deal with as we become advisors or mentors for people who are looking for how to get into this space, right? Advising them. Shaky was always one asked a lot in this group. Is that decentralized or is it centralized? It needs to matter to us. Uniswap is a decentralized exchange that allows you to swap different kinds of coins, right? The centralized coins are typically a lot more filtered. They go through a lot more vetting, a lot more strenuous vetting process for how they onboard coins. But for us, we might decide, hey, I like this coin. I don't care if you don't like this coin. I like this coin, so I'm willing to swap my coin for that coin. And that's where decentralized exchanges kind of get their opportunities from, right? They allow more leverage for newer coins to get a market that they wouldn't normally get, right? So what has been your opinion? Do you have any experience with any, from any bad experience or good experience from centralized or decentralized exchanges? What would you say, Bobby?
I would just say that, to your point, I think it has a lot to do with what state you're kind of where you're at from a research standpoint and your crypto knowledge. I don't have a lot, but even in a short period of time that we've been doing this, like what I found is like the centralized, like the Coinbase, like number one, you may not get all the coins that you're looking for. So a lot of the startup type coins, if you're looking for the coins that are, have the 10x, the 100x, the 1000x capabilities, a lot of those you're not going to find on like a centralized platform like a Coinbase or things like that. It takes a lot of movement around your platform in order to get the Coinbase. Of course, there's an approval process to get on some of these larger centralized platforms as well for any token. So that's one piece of it. But the other part is like you're not going to, like, if you're doing your research and you're looking for those coins that are gonna 10x, 100x, 1000x, like most times you're not going to find it on a centralized platform. So that's one of the things, like, as I expand my portfolio and I'm doing my research, I'm looking for, like, if I got to put in the work to on a decentralized platform to make sure that I have that coin in my portfolio, I'm going to do that. Yeah. The other thing is, like I mentioned with the fees, if I'm sending a coin from a centralized platform to decentralized to either switch coins or even just to put it into a wallet to protect it a little bit better from the centralized platform. The fees are up there. Like anybody who was moving some coins last week know, like I was gonna make a small transaction that was like $70, but to move it from a centralized platform to decentralized, I mean, the gas fees were like $300. Like, it was just ridiculous why we're having this gas. I don't know if the gas shortage on the East Coast had anything to do with it, but it was just, even in general, there's just a large fee associated with just moving it from centralized to decentralized. I think folks who have worked on the decentralized platforms, there's a bit of work that goes into it. So if you want to be in this crypto space, you're going to have to, put the time, the energy, in figuring out how to make it work. But there's videos out there, there's resources out there. There's a lot of things that'll walk you through how to make the transactions happen. But it does take some maneuvering, and I think you're going to get into it a little bit later, Corey, with just like some examples, like walk the crowd through an example. But for sure, those have been my experiences. I don't know. How about you, Clint?
Oh, very good, man. Very good. You hit on every point. Also, with the gas fees that you were talking about, very interesting that a lot of focus is being put on Cardano right now because of
Mm.
the Ethereum gas fees and the Bitcoin gas fees. So just to throw that out there,
Well, I'm
Hey, you
glad
notice how?
you point.
Hey, you know how Cardano was like one of the only ones that was like, while everything else was taking a hit last week, ADA was it was pumping. ADA was
yep.
pumping.
And if it wasn't pumping,
And
it was stable, and then it'll
You're right,
pump
exactly.
again. So very true.
going back to the alchemists, you have to pay attention to the omens, right? And when everything is dropping and you see these different coins that have a bit of stability to them, and you see also you get to see where some floors are, right? We see the ceiling, but it's better to know the floors. And I'll tell you, one of those that I spotted was guap, right? We saw guap push and fight to stay at that 15 cent mark, right? And it wouldn't go any further, right? And those kind of help you gain a sense of where the community is, and then how the tokenomics and the mechanics of the coin benefit against and buffer against, these crashes and these, if you don't have a stable use case, there's nothing protect you from the crash, right? But if you have a stable use case and you have a legitimate, bottom line market, you don't have to worry about the coins. One coin equals one coin. You don't have to worry about how it compares to the dollar, right? So the key is then making sure that, and let's go back to these exchanges. On these centralized versus decentralized exchanges, if you're one of those that are very active in your trading, being on some of these exchanges and how fast those transactions happen could make a difference.
Oh man, he went out. You still there, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah, he just needs to jump back in real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I dropped
There
that.
he goes.
I said it can make a difference between winning and losing. So speaking of guap coin, we've got a special guest that's going to be on, and we're going to talk a little bit about a decentralized and a centralized use case. She's going to talk about what we're doing with guap coin, talk about so Clint, I'm gonna make some room on the screen so we don't have too many of us on here. I'm gonna bring Tavana on, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Uniswap and some decentralized plays that can be made for us in the near future. So let me get my my computer together here. Y'all bear with me. We're gonna bring on our special guest here without any further technical difficulties. There we go. Tavana.
Hey.
It's good to have you.
How are you?
You hear me fine? All right. You've got Bobby. You've met Bobby. Clint.
Hey, Tavanya.
Hey.
We've even got the barbershop, the Guap barbershop down here, Dexter. He's down
the Guap barbershop. Hey, I need to stop in the Guap barbershop. I need a touch up over here.
Get your faded up and play in Guap that I know of. So definitely we got him on. But Tavana, thank you for being on. I know you've been very busy. We see you on Twitter. We see you on all kinds of different platforms. So it's
everywhere.
It's an honor to have you here with us. And today we're talking about decentralized versus centralized exchanges. And I think, Guap is a unique use case because we're not an ERC20 token, right? We are on a centralized exchange, Probit. And now we're making some moves with Binance with this decentralized play and Uniswap. So I wanted you to have a chance to just kind of talk to the team about, number one, the benefit of having master nodes and how it's going to help help people transition to the DeFi side and create some opportunities for guap holders. So please, if you can, a few minutes.
Well, so the next part of this project is called XSwap, which is extended guap. So we're releasing a wrapped guap token that will be able to take advantage of everything that is offered on the Binance chain, Binance Smart Chain side. So if you're familiar with some of the Binance Smart Chain tokens, of course, like what is it, Safe Moon and those other things running on the Binance Smart Chain. The reason why we chose the Binance Smart Chain is because, of course, the fees are lower. And I'm taking another calculated risk on Binance, that I think that Binance is going to be a strong, or projects that run on the Binance chain are going to be strong leaders for the rest of the year, until Ethereum 2.0 catches up. And the last time I kind of made a bet in my head on Binance, I was right, but I didn't make the financial bet, which I should have made.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that. Eventually, we'll probably also have a wrapped extended guap on Ethereum as well, but it's just better that we go Binance.
Well, let's talk about wrapped coins. What does it mean? What is a wrapped coin?
Stable coin.
So it's stable?
So essentially it's pegged 1-to-1 to whatever coin it is. And usually it's issued by a custodian. So there'll be a custodian set up, but it'll be all officiated by smart contracts. So you essentially send your coins to that smart contract, and it's going to issue you your wrapped guap coin, which will allow you to, take advantage of everything on that side of the ecosystem. Plus, it'll get us in other DEX. It'll get us in the DEX economy. It'll also get us in other wallets, like the Trust wallet, stuff like that. So there'll be a guap presence in other places as well.
Good stuff.
So that's our latest move.
Well, cool. So let me ask you. So with the now, there's been kind of behind the scenes rumblings of us doing something on Uniswap.
Yeah, Uniswap is on Ethereum, so that means that we'd have to make a wrapped Ethereum, which a wrapped ERC. But I don't think that that's as advantageous right now as a Binance Smart Chain, because, like I said, because of the fees. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Hey, Tavine, this is Bobby. Just a quick question about you mentioned moving to Binance. I've been seeing like some articles in the news. I think Binance is coming under some fire from the central government and whatnot. But in the crypto world, that's usually a good thing, because the minute you start seeing these financial institutes that go after these exchanges or a coin or a project the way they do, they're on the right path. So are you feeling the same thing, like knowing that?
Well, yeah. See, there is a little there's a little issue with them, and that's that Binance Smart Chain owns all of the nodes that operate Binance Smart Chain. So that's centralization. You can't get a Binance Smart Chain node like you can get an Ethereum node, right? So, and because that kind of gives Binance so much more power than, in a decentralized economy, that's kind of like a bad thing. However, there have been issues that have happened on the Binance Smart Chain that it also makes Binance accountable for. So you're talking about, you have a less of a chance of getting scammed on Binance chain than you do on an Ethereum chain, because there's nobody to take accountability for something that happens on Ethereum, but Binance has to eat the responsibility, because they don't want that to fall back on them. You know what I mean? So recently, PancakeSwap, it wasn't real recent, but it was probably about a couple months ago, PancakeSwap experienced a hack, and Binance stepped in and kind of like provided insurance with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you won't have that on Ethereum.
Let me ask you
that's a difference. You know what I mean? So it shows some good faith on their part, and it also shows that they're diligent against having bad actors operate on their network. So,
Yeah.
and I'm a favor of decentralization, but I'm not a favor of 100% decentralization.
Right.
Because you got there has to be some type of accountability somewhere along the lines, especially if you're working with the offline, world. So there's like a fine line there. You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with finance.
Let me ask you this: with products, like you said, insurance, is there an opportunity to make insurance products and different things like that with guap?
Oh, absolutely. There's an opportunity, definitely. See, there's an opportunity to build a whole entire ecosystem. The problem is we don't have enough knowledgeable people to step out and start building those use cases. That's why we often have to keep building use cases and putting it out, because we know a little bit more than the average people in our community what's possible. But yes, it's very possible to do that.
Okay. Well, because you said insurance, and as I think about people with these wallets and the likelihood of getting hacked is only going to increase. It's not going to decrease, right? These guys are getting better and better. Look what they did with the Colonial Pipeline.
Well, this is my opinion on that is a lot of these things are inside jobs. You know what I mean? Because if you create a project and you create certain loopholes, you know what I mean? They're creating certain loopholes for money to disappear. You know what I mean? For them to be able to get more money, and that's not hard for a programmer to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I personally feel that 90% of these hacks that occur, if not more, are inside. You know what I mean? Project stuff. So if that's
I heard they use crypto to get paid. I heard they used was it Monero? I heard they use Monero to get
switch it over to Monero, right? Because it's a privacy coin, and then they could do mixing, so then the transactions would be harder to track.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it could be inside, because people who create this stuff, that's why I feel like the whole entire 100% anonymity thing is not going to work. Even on the decentralized side, like this project shows up, but you don't know who anybody is. That doesn't work well for people. You know what I mean? Because that could be a project that, turns around and, it has issues like that.
Yeah. And look, and there was one more point that I wanted to make. Bobby and I were talking about, with me, we on this show, in this group, we talk about guap a lot. There's a lot of master node holders in this group. I think in our group, we probably got close to 100 master nodes in this family, right? Guap master nodes. But this week was the first time that we really got a chance to really exercise the power in that, because we've just been turning our master nodes into more master nodes. But this week, I wanted Bobby to kind of express some of his experiences, with guap. This was a rough week in the crypto market, but there's a lot of new coins that are coming out, new opportunities, and Bobby has been able to use guap to get in on some of these opportunities. So, Bobby, if you mind sharing some of that experience? You're muted. You're muted, Bobby.
How's this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Sorry. Didn't know I hit the mute on the computer, but yeah, it's been a great experience. And I don't know, like I've been holding guap for a long time since I got my first master nodes, and I've been super excited about it. I've just been staking everything. We talk about the stake game a lot, which I do subscribe to, but just sitting back one night and I was just thinking, like, how can I, expand my portfolio? And, just in working with all of these platforms where I can swap and whatnot, I was just thinking, as I'm looking through the exchanges, I'm seeing that, the GWAP and Bitcoin, association, and I'm just thinking, I could use GWAP to switch to Bitcoin, to switch to another coin, to expand my portfolio. And so, on a daily basis for my master nodes, I'm getting about 200-300 GWAP coins daily. So as that's building up, like I said, I've been staking the nodes, but in this past week, I probably a lot of coins too, guys. I mean, if you're going after some of these, these entry level projects like we were talking about earlier, for example, what's the coin that I got yesterday that I really Mask was a good coin that it's just coming off the ground. It started less than a month ago, and just the energy around it, the use case around it, it's a lot. But in a day's worth of what I got from a GWAP drop, I was able to buy like 10,000 of these coins because they're at an entry level price. And so, like I said, to be able to diversify my portfolio with something that I set up, months ago, that has the backing and support that GWAP does, like I'm excited about it. I'm going to keep, staking my coins, but at the same time, like just using a process that's already been developed that you established, Tavania. It's been phenomenal for me. My portfolio is looking kind of weak right now because of what's happened in the last couple of days, but we're in a HODL game, so it'll bounce back up. But thank you for that. Thank you for what you created.
Awesome. Thank you. That sounds similar to one of my close friends. He didn't have any crypto, but when he got in with GWAP, and that was like last year, now he has a full portfolio. Yeah. He's got GWAP, he's got Doge, he's got all of this other stuff, and he's very happy. And he even has Cardano. Yeah. That he got with GWAP.
Yeah, same here.
So he's extremely happy. And it's really opened up a world for him. So that's really cool. I love to hear that. I really do.
Yeah, my VET game, my VRA game, and my ADA game is hot thanks to GWAP right now.
Hey, and that makes a difference, man. People come to me and they say, "Hey, I want to get in the game. What coin should I buy?" And the first thing I do is I tell them, "You need to get a master node of GWAP." I don't tell them you need to go on crypto or go to Coinbase. I say you need to get a master node of GWAP. And because that's the only way that you can have something that's going to continue to bless you every single day, no matter what the market does.
You make sure I get a clip of this video. Okay?
Hey, every day.
Indeed, I think it's critical, and it's for a community that's looking for their representative in this game. We have one, right? GWAP is the guy standing on the podium with his fist up at the Olympics. You know what I mean? And his fist up. You know what I mean? That's how I feel, right? He's the only guy on the stage with his head down and his fist up, representing the people. And I think that's something that we have to embrace. We have to examine, and then we have to energize. Yeah. So thank you again, Tavana, for making time to be available for us. Mm-hmm. We don't take it lightly. We know that you're out there building more things for us to take advantage of. So we're cheering you on in the background.
Thank you.
We're building a community that's going to continue to support the brand and be brave enough to expand on the offering. So thank you again. All right.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you soon. You're going to get this copy. All right. All right, y'all. You got it here, man. The exclusives, the interviews, the access. We're making sure that we're getting you guys the best information. And making sure that that we're out here studying and paying attention and experiencing things. We're taking losses out here sometimes to make sure that we can speak intelligently to you guys about what's really out there. I remember the first time Clint was posting the NFT, and I think he lost about $40, right? And he was done. He was, oh man, I'm done with this stuff, Corey. I don't know what I got myself into. Now here we are months later, and NFTs are still powerful. Mm-hmm. And that experience, is worth more now than $40 even. It's worth more than what he lost because he knows how to post an NFT and how to create, an avenue of approach. And I think as we look at these videos week after week, if we go back and connect the dots backwards, Clint, you brought up Rarible in our first
one.
group.
Yeah.
And look at Rarible since that time. If you look at it now, if we had, bought Rari when you first brought it up, Clint, we would all be excited right now. We would all be happy right now.
We would. It just went on, they just listed it on crypto.com also this week.
Guess who else is coming to crypto? Oh, Doge is transitioning to a proof of stake, and Shiba Inu, they're going to do some kind of big giveaway with Shiba Inu. So, Vitalik, whatever the Ethereum guy.
Correct.
They had gifted him with the 50% burn wallet, and he gave it back. So now instead of doing that, now they're looking at other ways to get the community to say, okay, you don't want it? Well, we're going to give it to the community. So,
my bad for cutting you off too. What I was told was Vitalik donated $1 billion to the COVID relief fund in India, and he still has 45% of it in his wallet. Now that would be great if he gave it back, man. That's awesome, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I think for us, we just stay. Again, we're not financial advisors. We're just passionate about making sure that people that listen to us are not missing out on opportunities. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the things we speak about kind of haphazardly, we speak that way because we out here. You know what I mean? We're in, our feet are in, the game. So we could talk about it back and forth and just throw coins around like it's nothing, because our experience gives us that level of comfort. So the purpose of this group is to continue that all of us would have that level of comfort and understanding, and that we can move to that next level, like what Tavania has said. She literally said there's not enough of us who are knowledgeable enough and brave enough to create products on the platform, right? So we literally wait for her to come out with stuff. Yeah. But we're going to challenge that in 2021.
I wanted to ask a question too. Maybe you don't answer this, or you can follow up with Tavania. Is there a possibility that Guap could form its own, like become its own exchange?
Absolutely.
Binance has its own coin. Crypto.com has its own coin. So why could
we'll get back on here? I think there's a Cowrie exchange coming. And then also know this: I'm sitting here in the Russell Center. It's called the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. RICE. So we are in the process of discussing helping them start an exchange here. This is an incubator for Black-owned businesses. And we feel like every single one of them has a narrative that is tokenomics in nature. You know what I mean? So the transition between tokenomics and startup economics is the same, right? Blockchain is teaching companies how to do startup different and how to aggregate networks in order to be more of a network enhancer versus a currency, right? So how do you take your network and ensure that they have all the things that they need? What do they need? Cell phones, headphones, clothing, apps, cars, insurance, toothpaste, toilet paper, food, restaurants, all of those things. For every network, there's a way to aggregate the buy, right? Or to buy collectively. There's also a way to aggregate the invest, right? There's a way to aggregate the patronage. And I think that's all this is teaching us, is how to do that and how to empower our network. So as you look at Omega Psi Phi, Kappa Alpha Psi, North Carolina A&T, Bethune-Cookman, FAMU, even the high school networks, right? Every coin is looking for a network that will use all of its features and not just one of its features, right? But the first thing we do is the one feature, which is buy and wait for it to increase, and maybe we could sell and gain, right? That's the singular feature that's the least valuable feature in most of these coins, right? But the most valuable feature is that when you have a blockchain, you have an ecosystem potential.
Right.
And every service can be built on top of that. And you don't have to hop from coin to coin to coin.
Right.
What you need to do is bring service to service to service into the coin. We have to be focused on how many trade ecosystems can we create on top of this blockchain or on top of that blockchain.
Right.
And what I like about Guap is that it is not an ERC20 token. So we're not paying the gas fees that we're talking about.
All right.
We're not.
Nope.
I can send you Guap right now. It's like 0.0012 Guap to send you a Guap, right? So those are the things that the more we become knowledgeable about that, then we'll speak more proudly about what we have, and we'll speak more diligently about creating more things. We can create insurance. We can create gap financing. We can create car loans and we can create tuition programs and things of that nature on top of Guap and settle those payments with Guap.
Yeah, I think Tavania pointed out something that's major that it's and I can kind of see the pain in her eyes when she mentioned it. Is just that, like, finding the expertise within our own community to step up and make this stuff happen. Because, like I said, we know the use cases are already out there. A lot of the positive use cases that are on other different platforms. We can have the same use cases or expand on those use cases, but that level of expertise just needs to be there. So,
correct.
We need to bring.
That's our next moves, is to aggregate the investors that are not mentally there, but they trust the leadership group to build things that we think will be good for them, right? So, and we have to stay on top of the use cases that we want to see the most. So we want to see insurance. I want to see my crypto portfolio insured. I want to make sure that I'm not afraid of losing my password. I'm not afraid of getting hacked. I'm not afraid of somebody stealing everything I got, because I have a policy that's covering that, and I'll make sure I pay that policy, because the more I put in the portfolio, the more I'm willing to protect it, right? And that's a revenue center for somebody, right? And what's the most that they'll have to pay out in a claim? Maybe $50,000, $100,000. Ain't nobody got millions of dollars in no crypto portfolio that's out of our community right now.
Not yet.
And when they do, they'll pay the premium, of course.
Right. How do you guys feel about SafePal? SafePal wallet?
I haven't tried a SafePal.
Okay.
It's a wallet?
Yeah, it's a wallet. Pretty much where you store all your crypto at. And it's all crypto from what I'm being told. I do have to do my research also. I just want to see if anyone else was on it.
No, that's good to hear.
SafePal, like SAFEPAL, like they have a coin, SFP coin.
Yes. And I guess it's a wallet that you can download and store your crypto in there. It's pretty safe. And it's sort of like MetaMask, but it's a physical wallet also. So you can actually have it on you. It has a 16-digit code verification, just like MetaMask. And but I do want to do my more research. I don't want to get into it, because I really don't really know what I'm talking about too much on it.
Hey, this is a safe space, man. We just, number two, when you bring it up, it documents when we started talking about it.
Yeah,
correct.
I'm about to start digging into it right after we get out this call.
Okay.
So keep in mind that Sunday, the 16th of May, so that in September when we bring it up, we like, man, Clint mentioned that back in May 2021, man. Now look at this,
Yep.
So, you know, these are us leaving our own breadcrumbs so that we can go back and see, one, how information travels and how, you know, and how we react to it and whether our reactions are moving us in the right direction. So
Correct.
it's good to get this stuff, you know, on document, now that it's in digits. So, but this has been good. This has been a good session. I kind of blew through decentralized versus centralized. There's a lot more there. So we'll talk a little bit more about it next week. Also next week, Clint, maybe you can do some research on safe, what is it called? Safe Pool?
Safe Pal.
Mm-hmm.
Safe, is it like PayPal?
Well, I'm not really sure.
All right, we'll dig in.
Okay.
And also one more thing I want to say is, if you know us, hit my line, you know, talk to us. If you know Clint, call him. If you know Bobby, call him. If you know me, call me, because we want to make sure that everybody gets in, gets educated, gets empowered, and gets active. And, you know, that's what this group is about. You know, this week was a tough week. It wasn't all up,
right?
But a lot of the coins that we're involved in were fighters.
Correct.
And it's good to see when you got a fighter, right? When everything's down and you got that one that's showing that it's up, and you're like, yeah, man, I got me a fighter out there. And Cardano was a fighter this week. You know?
Yeah, you got it. Hey, we in the HODL game, so buy the dip.
Yeah,
buy the dip.
Buy the dip.
And I just wanted to just tell you guys one more thing about Shiba Swap. Shiba Swap is about to launch their own exchange.
Yeah.
So it'll be called, I mean, Shiba Coin. They're about to launch their own exchange called Shiba Swap.
Yeah.
And they're being promoted heavily on every major exchange. Crypto promoting them heavy. Binance is promoting them heavy. So it is a coin to look out for that's so cheap right now. And they're looking for this coin to stay under a penny, but really do numbers.
Yeah.
You know, so Corey is always on one step ahead. I didn't even know that they gave back the coins to Shiba. And with that being said, man, the potential is sky high. You know, so if you can jump in it right now, I have about 345 million coins, and I bought high. So I do plan to buy this dip right now before it go back up. And man, I just thank you for the space, Corey, because me, you, and Bobby started talking about this behind the door, and then we just brung it out here. So definitely, yeah.
And get this out to your folks. I'm gonna drop this in the Telegram. Get more active in the Telegram. Say something. Give me some feedback. I'm dropping content. I'm dropping articles for y'all to read, to keep y'all engaged, just to keep the energy going. So thank you again for being here, Bobby, Clint. You know, y'all are doing a great service to Omega Sci-Fi.
Yes, sir. You know.
I
think when we take these leadership roles that we're taking, just by doing this, we're displaying leadership, you know, and the more we continue to do this and expose the right people to what we're up to, we're going to grow and we're going to be able to do more things together. So, you know, don't forget, get your Be the Bank merch.
Be the Bank.
It's critical that's the mindset that we take on. We are the bank. Bobby, we got to talk about that. I got an auto banking opportunity that we need to discuss on the side that might come up. Liquidity pooling. We got to talk about liquidity pooling and all the different ways that we can use liquidity. So let's talk more. But for now, I'm going to send us off. Once again, be on the lookout for the NFT.
Steam River. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah,
Salute.
man, I like that, man.
Peace to the guys. I gotta come. We're gonna get those army NFTs going, bro. We need to chop that up. That's big.
All right, y'all. Good. We'll edit.
All right, man.